back. This is a fly rod review of a fly rod that I've already reviewed. Some of you guys may have been subscribers way back when I got this rod here. This is my 7th season with this rod, and I probably should have done a review at like 5 years, but I forgot, and I was just kind of taking care of some of my fly rods. Now that the water is pretty much boiling everywhere, I'm not using this rod right now, so I was kind of taking care of stuff, and I looked at it, I'm like, man, I should do a review on this thing. Also, don't worry, I'm not going to be having you just stare at me sitting in this chair the entire time. I'm going to overlay tons of footage of fishing with this thing and do different angles and stuff, so just stick with me. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. All right, so here we go. This is my Moonshine Drifter 9-foot 5-weight rod. The company actually, if I remember correctly, sent it to me for free, so I didn't even actually pay for it, but I was going to. And I didn't guarantee any like positive reviews or anything like that. They just said, hey, try it out, see what you think. I still have it, and it's still all in one piece, and I'm gonna go over everything with you here real quick, but I decided to go over this rod because it seems like, especially years ago when I bought this, people were really ragging on Moonshine rods. They were posting all kinds of stuff saying they're junk, and actually I don't even know what the problem was. Let's look it up here. Let's see what people were saying real quick. Why do people have a problem with Moonshine Rod Company? Some anglers dislike Moonshine Rod Company because they view it as a heavily marketed, lifestyle oriented brand that sells standard imported blanks with aesthetic upgrades. Critics argue that the fly rods feel heavier or less sensitive than traditional options, and some questioning the long-term reliability of their warranties compared to legacy brands. So they're kind of right with that. When I bought this rod, there's a lifetime warranty on this rod, and I think they stopped that in 2025. So that, that is a thing. If you broke any part on this, they would send you a new piece or a new rod or whatever and get it replaced. But they still have a warranty. I think it's maybe like a 1-year warranty now, but they also sell parts for all of these rods. So if you break a tip or if you break the section, you can buy a new section, and the rods still come with 2 tips. So this rod right here, when I bought it, came with 2 tips, and I'm still running the original. I've never broke it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I am not nice to my fly rods. This one specifically has been in and out of my rooftop rod case, and I mean I drove around all year, multiple years with this thing just banging around in that thing. The epoxy's all scraped up on all the guide wraps, and it's been in and out of my drift boat. A lot of times I just stuff it in the rod holder in the drift boat and drive to the launch, so they get beat up. Let me give you my long-term review of this rod, because I've seen all the posts and the hate that Moonshine got over the last few years, but it seems like that's kind of calmed down now. I don't know. So I'm going to give my honest opinion on this and let you know if they actually are junk or if they're worth buying. I personally use this rod as my 5-weight rod. The last 3 years, this rod has been on my drift boat as a client rod. And a lot of people, if you've fished with me for trout and salmon and stuff, you've probably used this rod as a dry fly rod. So I'll start off by saying I do own a bunch of different rods. I'm not loyal to one single company. I like to try a bunch of different stuff, and I will also say that I do not buy expensive rods. A couple $100 is about as much as I'm going to spend on a rod, and this one right here, this is the 9-foot 5-weight. It's $170 on their website, and on Amazon you can get it for like 150, 160 bucks. So that's a pretty, as far as fly rods go, that is a entry level price point anyways to get a rod. I mean, you go and look at some of these other companies. For example, Redington has the Wrangler and the classic Trout. That's a $200 rod. That's the cheapest rod they have. Orvis Encounter is $170, and the Orvis Clearwater, which is like a really well-known sort of entry level to a little bit better rod, that one's $298, so $300. Echo Lift, their cheaper rod, is $180. Sage, you might as well forget it. You can't even get a rod from them for less than $550. TFO has a few rods in the $250 range. So a lot of people said that these rods were dead feeling, heavy. This rod, if I remember correctly, was a medium or medium fast action. And I would say, yeah, it feels like that. I mean, most of my other 5-weight rods are fast action, and this feels a little bit slower, a little bit more bendy in the midsection, you would say. But it does have a very nice butt section to load the rod up and shoot line. I mean, I can shoot line with this thing just as far as I can with any other 5-weight rod. And I don't know if that's because I paired it with this line here. I've had this line, well, I've had 2 of them, but it's the same exact line. I think it's an Orvis bank shot, and it pairs perfectly with this rod. I mean, I've put this rod in the hands of a lot of different anglers. Some people that are way more experienced than I am, they've been fly fishing their entire life, you know, older gentlemen, and they put this rod in their hand, they start fishing, like, wow, what is this rod? I've never, this thing casts really smooth, it's really nice, and they look at it, they go, oh my God, it's a Moonshine? So it does have a softer feeling in the tip, more than a traditional, you know, fast action fly rod would have. But personally for me, it doesn't affect my casting at all. It recovers well and has enough backbone to shoot a bunch of line out there. Especially into the wind. I use this on the Kennebec, a larger river up here in Maine, and it can get pretty windy out there, and I pretty much now use this as my dry fly rod. As you can probably see, I've got 2 dry flies hooked up on here, but I have used this using double nymph rigs. I've used it even casting lightweight streamers and like beadhead bugger, woolly buggers and stuff. But I do like the way it casts. I can make really accurate casts with this. And probably for a newer person learning to fly fish, this rod might be better just because you can feel the rod load up. And I've noticed since I've become a guide, a lot of people, they're learning to fly fish, and the moment it all clicks for them is when they can actually feel the rod load up. A lot of people can't figure out their cast, but as soon as they feel that rod load up and really understand how the energy of the rod is transferring to the line and shooting the line, it all clicks. And this rod definitely does that a lot easier, especially for newer people. And this rod with this line combo lands super soft on the water, super soft. So as far as how the rod performs and casts, I mean, I think it's just as good, if not better, than any other $200 or $150 to $250 rod that you're going to find out there. The one thing I really do like about this is the rod seat here. This has a dual up-locking ring reel seat. They have little rubber grommets in there to keep them from slipping. I have never once had this come unscrewed on me or loosen up on me. I have some much more expensive rods than this that I constantly have to keep checking and tightening the locking ring on the handle here, either because they only have one ring or they just for some reason come loose, but this one always stays together, and I love that about this rod. I don't think it's a super high-end cork, obviously, because you can see in the close-up here that there's a lot of kind of little defects with it that were filled in and stuff, but for the amount of use that I've given this thing, it's held up pretty good. I mean, it hasn't had any big blowouts on it. It looks like a 7-year-old fly rod handle. I do like that they put this sort of more composite material on both tips, because you know that helps with like chipping out the edges of the cork, and it's held up really well. So I mean, I don't think I need to go into crazy detail with this thing. I've fished this rod all over the state of Maine. I've fished it at Grand Lake Stream. I've fished it at East Outlet, a bunch of places on the Kennebec, the Dead River. I fished it in the Rangeley region. I fished it in New York for brown trout, and it's worked flawlessly the entire time. Now, if you watch the original video, this is a different reel that I put on here. I took that reel off and used it on a different rod, but I just have an Echo Bravo on here now. Really nice reel. And like I said, it gets banged around in my drift boat and beat on by clients, and it's still holding up great. And it's one of my favorite 5-weight rods that I have. I guided someone 3 years ago that was a very proficient angler, been fly fishing his entire life, been all over the country, out west, done a bunch of trout fishing and stuff. And he used this rod and was blown away by it. Couldn't believe that was the Moonshine rod that he had heard about on the internet and stuff. So kind of funny, but anyways, I'm gonna keep this rod around. If you guys are looking for a budget fly rod, definitely go check them out. Again, I'm not affiliated with them at all. I would own another one, and in fact, I may buy one of their heavier streamer rods for doing some fishing and try that out, because I really have enjoyed using this rod. If you go and grab a brand new Orvis Helios and put it side by side with this one, are you gonna be able to tell a difference? Yeah, you are. is it gonna be that much of a difference? Plus, you could probably buy 5 of these to the price of one of those rods. And that rod's not gonna help you catch any more fish than this one right here. I've caught a ton of fish on this rod over the years, and I'll hopefully catch a ton more. You guys know, you guys have seen a lot of my other videos reviewing these cheap like Amazon rods, Walmart rods, things like that. I'm not going out here and buying Helios, spending thousands of dollars on fly rods. I'm trying to find cheap rods I can get you guys out there, something that you guys can learn on, something that I've used and trust, and I really like it. So let me know what you guys think down in the description below. Have you ever used a Moonshine fly rod? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. And if you haven't already, go down and hit that subscribe button, please. I really do appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next video.